Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Finally Feel Free event. And we are nearing the end of this beautiful event of 25 days of just amazing speakers. And today I have a really special guest, Holly Copeland. She is Heart Mind Alchemy founder. She is a conservation scientist turned wellness entrepreneur and leader, bridging ancient wisdom and modern science. Frustrated and saddened by the state of the planet, she left her established career as an ecologist to reclaim inner joy and find lasting happiness and well-being through meditation, sound, and breath. She reconnected to her wild, soulful self, and as a certified coach, breathwork, and meditation teacher and sound healer, Holly's passion lies in helping people discover how to come into resonance with their unique vibrational blueprint and experience the freedom, joy, and abundance that awaits when we awaken and rewild within. Holly, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm super delighted to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
So good to have you. And I'm really excited for our conversation because we are talking about inner rewilding, how to unleash our true harmony, vibrational alchemy, ancient wisdom, the whole lot. So I just want to dive straight in and I want to ask you, how do we start shifting from a life where we kind of view it as bit more heavy, problem orientated, maybe just like lower dimensional programming. How do we shift out of that into one of freedom and joy and just really embracing the light?
Yeah, well, that's the big question, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
one that
it's the
we all
million
are
dollar
thinking.
question.
That is it. So I think if I might, I would like to start with my experience because I very much was in that space myself. It was over 5 years ago when I really began on this journey, and I was working as an ecologist for the Nature Conservancy, and I was in that space of feeling like I'd checked all the boxes in my life. I had a beautiful job and children, and I had a home, and like I'd made it right by society. I'd done all the things society had asked me to do. And yet I recognized there was this fundamental like sadness, and I was chasing like a hamster, this space of well-being that even though, I was fed and clothed and there was something missing inside. And I think that's what we're fundamentally all seeking, that we see the outside world as, in a lot of ways falling apart. I sure did, because I was waking up each morning trying to, save the world, as it were. And when I dropped that and finally gave up and decided to turn within, then, I found and worked with teachers and tools that really helped me shift. And the first place that shifted for me, the big shift came in the recognition first of this simple presence of being, of awareness itself, of
Mm.
recognizing, like, as Locke Kelly says, what's here now when there's no problem to solve. And so, that essential feeling, and I'm looking down because I actually want everyone to just close your eyes for a minute with me and to just drop in together. Maybe take a couple breaths in your belly. Feel your body. Feel this sense of having a body. Feel sensation arising. Hear the sound of my voice. And then shift your focus to the awake space. When I ask the question, are you aware? And then feel this presence that stops to check. And it's in that checking, that sensing, oh, yes, I am aware. That the open, awake space reveals itself to itself. And if you stay with that open, awake space, so you stay in the question, am I aware? And you stay in the listening position. So don't turn back to the focusing on things, just stay in the listening. You can start to notice that this open, awake space itself has no boundaries or edges, is infinite. and timeless and whole and complete. It doesn't need anything from the experience of being. And just feel into that place where nothing is needed. There's just a receptive, open listening. And I'll invite you to open your eyes with me gently. And it's that open, awake space of listening that for me is the ground. That's what Tibetans call the ground of being. That's where it all begins. We have to first reclaim that ground of being, reclaim the essence that is open and awake. And from there, we can move into sensing the cosmic dance that's playing out and align our life to it and all of that. But it really, for me, begins there. We have to step out of the story of separation and pain and all of that to feel what's here right now that never leaves us.
And I love that because it also connects you to that part of you that is just for you, that's connected to something higher that nothing can touch. Whatever we go through in this world, there is a center which is just between you and, the universe or God or the higher power. And every time, like even when you did that, and every time I come back to the present moment, I always connect with that self. So thank you for doing that. And that's a really great way to start this conversation. Now I'm really interested because you talk about inner rewilding and how that is, kind of your way to awaken to like joy and freedom. So could you just tell us a little bit about inner rewilding?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. So, as this path unfolded for me and this idea of inner rewilding started to birth, as I went through my own journey of, opening and awakening to these truths, that what I recognized was these kind of four key pillars of this path. So, awakening to this divine essence or ground of being that we are is the first pillar, and then allowing this natural flow of life, that life is happening on its own without our help. And this is the grand surrender and acceptance that all the paths talk about, that we have to start to feel and allow life to happen through us. So
Mm,
we're in a driverless car. We feel when we're in the egoic place of control as though we've got the hands on the steering wheel and we're madly trying to steer our life in a certain direction. And that's where the suffering and the challenges and the difficulty comes from, is that the control itself is what's creating
mm,
feeling of a problem that
mm,
we have to solve, right?
mm,
And life, right? It's really challenging when we feel like there's a problem to solve, right? It's work. And where I'm trying to take people and where I was guided through what I did was to a place where there's life feels like it flows effortlessly. It's more like life is doing you. And so and allowing is the key. Allowing the way that the wind allows the leaves move on the trees and the wind moves through and the leaves just allow. It's that kind of allowing. We allow life to move through us.
mm,
And then what I call attuning to the cosmic dance is the third pillar. So attuning, starting to tune into the subtle energy, the Shakti, the flow of subtle energy that's happening through the body, the Kundalini. It has so many names and all the different beautiful traditions, right? But attuning into
mm,
that great cosmic dance. And then finally aligning to the wild soulful self, aligning as co-creators with the universe, where we are uniquely bringing in each of us something so beautiful into the world. And so we align and we, come into the deep heart and feel what that is. What is your unique expression in the world? And what does the universe want to create through you? And when we align and a key with aligning is resonance. We come into resonance and vibration
mm,
with that highest truth that we're here to bring out into the world, right? And
Mm,
as Einstein said, you have to match the frequency or the vibration of the reality you wish to create. So
mm,
I know that's where I use the tools of tuning forks as I'm a biofield tuning practitioner to help people come into alignment and resonance with what they're here to uniquely create. Um,
mm,
and tuning forks also can be used in that allowing space. I do a lot of deep work with people of releasing stored trauma in the body.
mm,
So, in biofield tuning, for example, the biofield and many different traditions speak about this too, and many teachers now about how our auric or biofield, the energetic field surrounding the body, stores every thought, every emotion we've ever had is walking in the library around us, with us, as us. And
mm,
so when a difficult or traumatic experience happens, that is stored literally as a vibration kind of buzzing out in the field next to us, right? And if we want to be free of this, pattern that we've frozen at, we got bit by a dog when we were 5 years old and we're terrified of dogs is a very simple, simple example. And so that resonance of being bit by that dog is there. And in order to not feel the fear of dogs and to overcome that, we need to bring that dissonant vibration back into resonance
mm,
in our field, and tuning forks and other mantras and other sound bowls, frequency healing. There's lots of different energetic healing ways that that's done. But for me, it's done with tuning forks, is brought into the field, and it helps people open to that experience, feel it, release it, and in the process of the feeling and the releasing, we're free of that emotional trauma. So that's the essence of that work. And then now our field is more in resonance and harmony with who we want to come into the world, and now we can align and step into this wild soulful self, this expression that we're here to create.
mm. And I really love the fact that you use the word wild, because what does that mean to you to like step into that, to rewild? What does wild mean?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Well, my experience is that all this conditioning that we had, that from birth, where we're, conditioned to what success looks like, and an idea of who we should be by our parents and teachers, and all these different impressions of that are like layered on us.
Mm,
Um, that we are kind of tame. We have this very small sense of what it means, of what our potential is, and who we can be. And we put ourselves in these, metaphorical boxes because of all of this conditioning. And so for me, wilding is like undomesticating. It's
mm,
like throwing away all of this conditioning and like, oh, get it off me. Who am I really? What does the universe really want to co-create through me?
mm,
And to me, it and not only is it like getting rid of that conditioning, but it's actually attuning to the natural universe. So all of the nature that's around us, the trees and the beautiful, grasslands and the deserts, they're all humming with the divine creation vibration. And
mm,
so also when we tune to this cosmic dance that's happening and tune in with the nature that's all around us, we're sourcing that creation that
mm,
is ready to work through us. And to me, that's a kind of that attunement with nature is a kind of rewilding. And in my work as a conservation scientist, I was like madly trying to keep the earth wild. Like
mm,
that was like literally my job as a
mm,
scientist, was like, how can we save nature and keep the earth wild? I was working so hard to do that. And what this path showed me was that in order to save the world, I really wanted to see that I loved so dearly and wanted to see protected. I
mm,
actually needed to come into myself and learned it's like take the focus off the
mm,
fixing the earth and actually bring it back to my own, you know, um, dissonant self, the sadness within, and reclaim the wildness within. And then all of a sudden, the world outside, like, yes, I recognize that there's still a lot of that, of um, the earth that is being harmed by humans, but the my view has completely shifted. It's like there's a fundamental well-being and okayness in me that
Mm,
extends to the world. It's like it is a miracle, but it's like you flip the story and
mm,
you become whole and wild and free within, and then you have infinite energy and love and compassion to help, the world.
It's like you're almost creating like an overflow of just love within yourself. And also, we do know that, what's happening within us is mirrored back by the reality. So if you really do want to help nature and you want to help the earth, instead of like focusing on obviously be aware of like what's going on and the problems that are going on, but it's like now focus on the solution and bring that into yourself and then mirror that outward. So I'm so glad that you are part of, bringing back that wild energy, both in the earth and also within us. And I'm so excited because you're actually going to be doing a little bit of a demonstration with us in a little bit with the tuning forks. But can you just tell us, like, before we do that, just a little bit about sound healing and the tuning forks and what that really does? I know you spoke a little bit about it bringing us into alignment and our biofield, but could you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, sure. I would be happy to. So I studied with biofield tuning founder Eileen McCusick and her team. And through the work, so I was introduced to a number of different forks. The fork that I'll be using today, I'll be using a couple, but one of them is the 174. So these are parts of the solfeggio frequency. And these are ancient frequencies that were discovered that have very healing properties in the human body. So the 174 removes and alleviates pain, and then the 528, which sometimes is called the frequency of love or the miracle frequency, is another one that has very healing properties. And so, these are based on sacred geometries, and right, ancient wisdom brought these frequencies forth for humanity. And so when we bring these specific certain frequencies, and there's many, and I mean, I could talk for over an hour about the different frequencies and how they support human well-being, but we
Mm,
can use them to naturally let the body actually tune into and start to release the dissonance. So
mm,
my sense is that there's like a lack of coherence or harmony in the field, and that
mm,
and that the body is constantly listening. Bruce Lipton, great scientist Bruce Lipton, who wrote The Biology of Belief, showed us that cells have listening posts on them and
mm,
are receiving frequency. Like because we are all energy and vibration, our bodies are wired to listen
mm,
to sound. That's actually like sound is the first, healing medicine, truly, And so if we introduce certain frequencies, the body will start to come into alignment and resonance. This concept of, so if we've got like one out of tune string, and then there's another one, and it's vibrating, and they're resonating. This one string will actually start to come into resonance with the other,
mm,
right? So, and then the two together will actually create a greater sound. And so
mm,
we're using these principles, these natural principles of resonance and attunement, to let the places in the body that are dissonant release and open and heal. Does that
mm.
does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And that sounds great that we're going to get to experience it today as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, yeah. So if you'd like, I'll do a little demonstration right now for everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is our bodies are a torus field of energy, and we're like a battery, and the earth is too, and all beings are. And we have a positive terminal up here above our heads that Eileen, we call the soul or the sun star. And then below our feet, we have an earth star. And then the energy flows through the central channel, connecting the earth and the sun star and around. And so well being and health is actually this natural flow of energy through our human energy vehicle that we are operating. And so, what I'm going to do is give you some juice to your human energy vehicle in a short, maybe about 10 minutes. Is that okay? Yeah, quick demonstration. So, all right. So, go ahead and you can close your eyes, everybody. And just feeling your feet on the floor. And I'm just going to place the fork now at the bottom of the feet. And this entire group, I want you to, because we're in a group setting, I want you to first establish that whatever frequency comes in, whatever vibrations come in to your field, that only those that are meant for you, that are serve you and your highest good are allowed. Okay, so anything that's not meant for you or will not serve you simply bounces off your field. Okay, this is really important, especially in group tunings, that you establish your sovereignty. Okay, so with that established, imagine you even have like a protective golden egg around your body, and you can just feel it accepting only that which is meant for you. Okay. Okay, and I'm tuning in to this group Earth star. And it just feels ungrounded to me. It feels like there's a lot of energy up in the head and we're not down in our feet. Okay, so I want to invite everybody listening to bring your awareness down into the space about 10 inches below your feet. Feel that space pulsing. And then I want you to imagine you have tree roots at the bottom of your feet, and I want you to send them down into the earth. Feel them wrapping around the crystalline core and anchoring you to the earth. And with that, breathe a breath down through your feet into the earth. Good, and I can hear and feel the signal clearing. And then I want you to imagine that energy from the earth is coming up through these roots, traveling up like a golden liquid light, and nourishment from the earth traveling up through the roots, creating a pool of golden light at your feet, traveling up through your legs, through your pelvis, through your belly, through your heart, lighting up your whole body from within, like this deep, nourishing earth liquid, nectar. Good, and I can feel much better flow now from below. Okay, so I'm going to come up to the sun star above the head, activating the space above your head about 10 to 12 inches. My apologies, there's some landscaping machinery in the background. So we can just imagine that we're clearing all that away. No matter what chaos is going on in the world, our light, this sun star above the head, is shining brightly. That we are going to become ourselves the stronger signal. The stronger signal outweighs any other incoherent noise on the planet. So there's a reason for everything. Everything happens for a reason. So even that, I welcome it in, I invite in whatever dissonance is here because we are creating the strong, coherent signal. And then imagine and feel we connect to the sun, and then open up the crown chakra, the top of your head, and imagine light pouring in from the sun, down through the heart, down through the belly, connecting to this liquid nourishment from the earth. Now, lastly, I'm going to supercharge this, touching the edge of your field with the 528. Bringing in the beautiful, sparkly, miracle healing frequency. So now open up all your cells. Imagine that they're receiving this vibration. Every cell is connected, alive, awake, and nourished. Open them all up to receive this very restorative, very healing light frequency. In these last few seconds, just relax, 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 relax the jaw, relax the cheeks, relax the shoulders. Relax the pelvis. And then feel this alignment and attunement to the cosmic dance and alignment to your wild, soulful self. What is it that you uniquely would like to create today? And rather than creating an idea in the mind, feel what the universe wants to create through you. Feel that from all of your cells. Imagine yourself effortlessly moving through your day, attuned and aligned and free, joyfully ready to share your gifts with the world. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes in that space and and here we are.
Wow, Holly, thank you so much. What I know the second tuning fork was 528 hertz. What was the first one?
First one was 174.
Oh, okay. And what was the first one? Like what does that frequency do?
You know, in biofield tuning, it's one of our workhorse forks. So it actually reduces pain and alleviates pain. So it's one of those, I would call it like a corrective. It really likes to get in there and find those places of resistance and knots, I like to say, and untangle those knots. So it can be quite strong.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's really a beautiful fork. What did you feel or notice?
Yeah, when you played the 528 one, it was just like, I don't know, that one was amazing for me.
Like,
I Yeah, it honestly felt because you said it was like I think you said what I felt was like this sparkly, glittery energy around my aura or biofield. It was like literally like this.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, that's like 28. Yes, exactly.
yeah, and then that just felt really good. Before that, I don't know where I was. I think I just went, but when we were connecting with the Earth Star, it was just really yeah, like just connecting with the earth and the way you describe the liquid gold. I really work with the gold visualization, but normally it's like light. So when you said liquid, that was like really nice and different and nourishing, like you said. So yeah, just feel very yeah, and the message was really strong coming through about what I'm going to be creating today, which is some music. And yeah, it was just like, that's what I'm going to do. So I encourage every single person in the audience, if you've also received a message about what you're going to create today, which I'm sure you have, make some space and act on that because, that is why we're here. Like when we get this guidance, just go with it, just flow with it. We've spoken a lot about inner rewilding and flowing with who we really are and moving into that freedom and joy. And it really starts with listening to these messages that come from spirit or the universe or your higher self or your higher guidance, because that's really going to take you in the direction of your soul path. Um, and Holly, I really want to thank you so much. I know you have a free gift for everybody as well, which is a free biofield tuning to just really let the energy flow and to activate the flow.
Yes, I do. So you can access that free gift and learn more about, the work I do on my website. Mhm.
Yes, and you can be part of Holly's community and see, more of what she's up to regarding the stuff that we've spoken about. So that all those links will be down below. Holly's Facebook, her Instagram, her website, and also how you can access this free gift. And the last question I want to ask you is, since this event is called Finally Feel Free, and we really are at the end, what is your message of freedom to the audience?
Oh, thank you. I really am a fan of simplicity. I mean, when all is said and done,
Mm.
I find that the simplest truths are the ones that we are the most profound, right? And so my message is really a heart message of going into the heart and just really listening and feeling deeply to your own heart and where it's leading you, because it will not lead you astray, right? The universe is has your back, and everything is unfolding for you. Yeah, and no matter how it may seem in the outside world, it really is carrying you on your perfect path. And so this path of the heart is the path of deep trust. And so to give yourself the grace of allowing yourself to, as I
Mm.
say, put your own oxygen mask first, to go to stop. If you're in pain, stop looking outside and being a victim of this world, but being really the brave work of coming within and feeling and listening to your own heart.
Mm.
um, I think there's nothing more important we can do for ourselves and for the world, that it truly is, there's a lot outside that feels like chaos and feels like it's falling apart. And the greatest thing we can do is give ourselves the grace and the time to go within.
I love that message. Thank you so much for being with us here today, sharing your journey, sharing your wisdom, and that wonderful message at the end. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. I'm just really delighted to be here with you all.